Hello there, this is Rom coming back at you with yet another car video. Don't get caught up into what women publicly say they want in a man. Don't get caught up into it. And really, I'm going to tell you something now. If you really pay attention or you got some age on you, women always publicly say they want a different type of man. It's like just wearing like different types of clothes. It's like a style to it and stuff. If you really think about it, and it's going back a long time. Because I remember in the 70s, I was a kid in the 70s, you had to have a bush to get a woman. Because women saying they want a guy with a bush. So guys were like wearing bushes and stuff, having blowouts and everything to get that bush or something. And then it was light-skinned men. Light-skinned men. This is particularly in the black community, but this in all communities, really, right? I remember early 80s, you had to be a light-skinned man to get a woman, right? Or what they said. I'm going to get into that in a bit. But then in the late 80s, it was all about being chocolate complexion. I remember this one woman said she was convinced why she had to like Wesley Snipes. And I was like, women liked him because he was in that Spike Lee movie tearing that woman up on a balcony. You also had Denzel like getting big and Michael Jordan. Shoot, one time they were saying you had to have your head shaved bald. Shoot. I remember that in the late 90s and stuff. When I was working one of my 1,000 jobs working for this fitness company, right? All the salesmen were brothers with shaved heads. All of them. Man. But then, there was a period it was about being a thug. You had to be a thug. You had to have this or that. I remember when Barack Obama was elected. Women were talking about they got to get them a Barack Obama. There's always some different ass shit. Always some different ass shit. Like right now, the thing is about being like 6'5" or something, some tall dude. I mean, that's big, but that's going to change too. I guarantee you. Y'all heard it here first. That's going to change. I don't know when it's going to change. Could be in a few months. Could be in a year or so. It'd be some new women talking about. They ain't even talking about guys like a certain height. It's always a change. I remember when dad bods was a big thing. Women talking about that. It's always some style, always somebody putting out some stuff. In the media especially. Now that you got social media, they can do videos on get this type of man, get this type of man, get this type of man. I'm going to tell you what, as a man, you can't worry about it. Let me go back to the 80s and early 80s when it was all about being a light-skinned black man, right? I was still getting some play. And I lost some play because particularly a couple of women say, he'd be all right if he was light-skinned, right? Okay, that was a couple of women, but when I look back, I was still getting mine. Women would still let me grind up on them at the go-go. People in D.C. know what I mean when I say the go-go. Shoot. I was still getting mine. I was looking back at it. I was like, well, hold up. I was still getting some play back then, even though they supposedly wanted light-skinned men, right? And, definitely when they were doing the Chocolate Brothers, but then when they were talking about, well, women want thugs or something, I wasn't no thug. And I maybe lost a couple women because of that, but then gained some women because I wasn't that. It's always something. It's always something. Heck, I seen a couple videos recently talking about dad bods and stuff. Woman, this dude, one of those like street interviews. This dude was showing these women like two pictures. One was a big muscular dude. The other one was just a regular body and stuff. Regular body, what they call a dad bod. The women going crazy over that, right? It's always going to be something. The media is always going to be something. It depends on who's going to be in charge, who's running shit, right? You know? They might want somebody on the spectrum or something, man. You know, it's always going to be something different, right? Even when people are trying to talk about money and shit, right? Talking about money. Used to be, dude just had to be a good worker and stuff. Now you got some women talking about they want some like 6-figure dude. Shit, it'll be a 7-figure dude. Some women talking about they straight up want millionaires and stuff. It's always something. See, understand something with women. And I talked about this in a video a few weeks ago. There's always a prime type they want and an open type. The prime type is really based on fantasy, what their fantasy is. Now, women will go for that. All women got a fantasy. They all got a fantasy type. An open type is what they actually had to deal with. I'm going to get into that this week. I'm going to do a car video on that this week, right? So their prime type might be whatever's popular, whatever's the big deal, you know? You know, like if it usually comes from like maybe some celebrity or something that looks a certain way. And you know, he's doing some stuff and the women like, yeah, that's what I want. I want that guy. What they think the guy is. And everything. Because I remember, when Idris Elba was like really popular and stuff. But he had been in some stuff before that. But I said, nah, they ain't really looking at Idris Elba. They looking at Stringer Bell. You know, they getting crazy over just the character. And that's some women. And, well, there's many women get caught up into that fantasy and everything. They thinking. Now, if you ever run into a woman who say she want a particular guy, you can like either just be like, okay, and walk away. Don't worry about it. She ain't for you. Or if she want to push it, just ask her a simple question. Say, baby girl. Well, I would call them baby girl. Or Miss Lady, whatever you want to call them. You can call them by their name if you know them. And say, have you ever, all right. Like you get some women who say they want a guy who's 6'6" and, you know, 6'6", got that long ass dick and making 6 figures. That'll be a new thing coming up soon. I don't know when it's going to come up. $500,000. Some are saying millionaires. Ask them one simple question. Have they ever met that guy? Have they ever met the guy that they say they want? All right. And if they say no, which they invariably will, most will say no. Ask them, well, how you know that guy would be good for you? And then if they say, well, yeah, I met that guy, went out with that guy. Because I've met some women, they look like whatever, talking about they've been out with some millionaires. It was like, how come you ain't with them now? How come you know, just look at them. Be like, yeah, how come you ain't dating that type of guy now? Seriously, just ask them those simple questions. You know? Most of the time, though, they're going to say they ain't never really met that guy. They just on some fantasy thing. You know? But, see, here's the thing, though. It ain't even so much that's what they're talking about or that's who they want to get with, right? It ain't so much. One of the biggest problems is, as a man, you can't let that bother you. I'll use myself for an example again. Like I said, early 80s, it was a big deal to be a light-skinned black man. You know? Even before that, in the 70s, it was a big deal to have a bush. My hair never really grew up to be a bush. Tightly coiled. You know, I had to get a blowout. I had to go to the barbershop next door to my house to get a blowout. Then you gotta sleep a certain way to keep that blowout. That shit didn't last more than a few days any damn way. You know? Heck, I remember a time I was wearing that S-curl. That processed joint. Because that's what women were checking for. Or what they said they were checking for. But I'm going to tell y'all something now. here's some game for y'all. You can't worry about it. Women always gonna say that, but then women always gonna go for their type, what's in them naturally. And you gotta ignore it. Because if I'm like, I'll use myself for an example again. Well, add to the example rather. Like I said, like when they had bushes, or like the guys that had bushes or light skin, I ain't had none of that shit. Still getting some women, right? Still getting some women. And actually the period when they were saying that they had to have processed hair and all that, wavy hair, shoot, that's probably a period I got the fewest women. But you know what? I just said, fuck all that. That ain't me. This is who I am. When I got to that point, when I was saying all that, got plenty of women. Because women will always say they want something. You can't get caught up that you ain't that. You can't get caught up. If you are, that was some biological shit. I couldn't get caught up in it. Got some pussy behind it any goddamn way. You know? As a man, you can't worry about what they say publicly, because women will say one thing publicly but deal with something else. Like, I guarantee, I'm gonna use the word guarantee, you really dig into like right now the big deal is going over a height. All these women be doing all these videos saying, oh yeah, he gotta be 6'2", he gotta be this or that, knowing there's probably some dude who's under 6 feet, maybe even a little pudge on them, digging their asses out. Women will say one thing publicly and then deal with another guy privately. The public thing you don't even get caught up into. Because, yeah, they'll have that fantasy or something, but, it's similar to men who want that, like, dime or something. That dime with the perfect waist, snatch waist, nice breastises and big old butt. But if you really check, if they've even had sex, that ain't who they got with. They ain't even who they got with. Because there's like fantasy and then there's reality. You don't get caught up in the fantasy. Now, you get some women who still might reject you and shit because you ain't matching that fantasy. Well, you don't need to deal with her anyway because she ain't dealing with reality. Like I said, if she push it too much, ask her. It's like, well, have you actually been with that man? Like all these men say, all these men out here who's supposed to be like 6'6" or something for some of these women. They be going on these balloon pop shows. Oh, let me say one real quick thing about that balloon pop show. Some guy thought I was talking about a particular guy on a balloon pop show. I know who you were talking about. Dude, don't ever do shit like that. Don't ever assume something unless I call a name. All right? Don't even assume this shit, all right? Because they do that every damn balloon pop show that I watch. They're always saying something about height, right? They're always saying something about height. But usually, like I said, they be on some of those shows talking about, oh, he ain't tall enough. You telling somebody over 6 feet they ain't tall enough and stuff. They be having heels like heels, like 5-inch heels. It's like, you wear those all the time. Because I knew a woman, she was about a good 5'9", wore some 5-inch heels. But when she took that shit off, man, she was only about 5'4" at best. With some shoes on. I was like, man, you don't even get caught up into that bullshit. It's some bullshit. You don't get caught up with women say publicly. Like, they'll say some shit publicly, and I'll just be like, yeah, okay. You don't worry about it. You worry about, as a man, all you can do is be the best version of yourself. Like using the height thing for an example again. Using the height thing, that's the major thing now. You know your ass ain't 6'4". You know your ass ain't 6'6". You know you ain't over 6 feet. Is that stopping you from like fixing up as best as possible? No, it's not. Is that stopping you from hitting the gym? Is that stopping you from whatever your mission is in life? And yeah, there's going to be some women who don't like it, but like I said it was a car video a couple weeks ago. Women always going to find something they don't like about you. I don't give a fuck what you got. Now, one thing on those balloon pop shows, there was one guy, this woman said he was too tall. He was too tall. And I'm like, damn. This woman going against everybody else. But they always going to find something. You can't worry about it. As a man, it was like, please. I wish I had a dime every time a woman said publicly she wanted some type that I sure as hell wasn't. And she ended up sucking my motherfucking dick. I wish I had a dime for that shit, a proverbial dime. Seriously, that shit happened a lot. Because I was just saying, nah, this is who I am. Nah. You know? Like I said. One time I kind of got caught up into it wearing some processor shit. I said, damn, that was the best play I ever got. When I was just wearing whatever I was going to wear, shit. Got into play. That's how you got to be. That's how you got to be. You can't be worried about all this bullshit. Yeah, they going to say something publicly. I don't give a shit. Like, you get some guys worried about what these women saying on these videos or something. First of all, they be smiling and shit. First of all, if a woman's saying something, she's smiling, you don't really know if she being serious. Because they'll say whatever. They'll say whatever they think is going to get them attention. You don't know. They smiling mainly shit. They going to say whatever they think you want to hear. Because they just happy they just being on some video or something. Telling all their girlfriends. You know? Be on some video or something talking about they want some 6'3" dude. And they probably tell that 5'8" dude who hitting it doggy style, they be like, check this video. Well, you get up chest. It's like, oh, you like 6'3"? Bang, 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 bang. They go even harder and shit. They don't give a fuck. Seriously, you don't take that shit seriously. They be lying and shit. Why you even taking that shit seriously? You be the best version of yourself. Women say a lot of shit. And there's always something the media promoting or something. You know, like you get some media, the media be trying to promote like these models or something like that. Or some of these movies or social media and shit. But then you see some stocky dude tearing up some shit if you actually get out here in the real world. Like, they don't show no stocky dudes tearing up anything. They don't show them in the media. I mean, they don't show them in the media. But in the media, what they show? Some slim dude, tall dude, all that shit. But you go in the real world, I don't care where and shit. You can go in the hood, you can go in the trailer park, the res, whatever. Be some dude who got about 4 baby mamas and shit. Don't look shit like they got in the media. Be looking rough as shit. You know? Even when motherfuckers be trying to talk about some Chad bullshit. Man, take your ass outside. You be seeing some dudes like pushing around a baby carriage, got a couple other kids walking beside them. And the woman looking happy as shit. The motherfucker don't look shit like Chad. He apparently getting some pussy, right? Shit. Look, you don't get caught up in all this bullshit. I don't give a fuck. You get caught up in being the best version that you gonna be and stuff. Because you can sit back and laugh at it. Even in your presence, a woman can say one thing and be doing something else. Shit, I'll use myself for an example yet again. the overwhelming majority of women I've had sex with would not describe me as their type. Seriously. They would not say this is what they want. In fact, I've had some women tell me they wanted a type of man who didn't look shit like me, yet the same woman would suck my dick. Women want, look, and they know it. They'll say whatever, they'll say something publicly but mean something differently. That's part of that whole shadow world thing. That's why even with body game, I say just get your best body and see, you get your best body and see who's liking it. Because you just don't know. You just don't know. You got to be your best version. I mean, look, seriously. It's always somebody, it's always something. Don't get caught up into it. Don't get caught up with you seeing on social media, mainstream media, movies, whatever. They trying to present a certain image or something. Don't get caught up into that shit. You know, they trying to sell something. Don't get caught up into it. Shit. Don't get caught up into like some that Chad bullshit or like male supermodel bullshit. Shit, they just walking. First of all, if they a model, they're walking. They ain't nothing but a walking hanger. I had a model actually say that to me too. They nothing but walking clothes hangers. They trying to sell their clothes. Get you to think in some way. Get you to think in some way. That's the real world. You know, so it depends on where you at. I'm gonna jump more into that Chad thing tomorrow because I'm getting tired of hearing about it. Motherfuckers be bringing that shit up even in videos that I don't even mention that term. Shit. Seriously, but you don't get caught up into it. You just be your best version. Go and get yours. In fact, you gotta be, I'm gonna be real, you gotta be a little, not even just a little, I wouldn't even use the word little. You gotta be on some vicious shit. You know, you gotta be on some cold-blooded shit, man. Like self-centered shit. Just like, look, I ain't worried about that. Like, don't get caught up in the media. The media only presenting stuff trying to sell you something. They gonna tell you whatever. Get caught up into the real world and what's in the real world. It could be whatever. Get caught up into whatever. You know? Get caught up into the women who gonna like you for what you present, what you bring, alright? Seriously. Don't get caught up in all that bullshit. They'll say whatever in the media. Because like I said, y'all heard it from me first. I say a few months to a year or something, they'll be talking about some other type of guy. You know? That because the tall thing will be done played out. Because first of all, you only got a small percentage of men who are even over 6 feet. Now they talking over 6'2" now. That's even a smaller percentage. What, 3% of men over 6'2"? After a while, the women, when they realize they ain't getting that, it'd be something else. You know, the man it'd be something crazy. Like he gotta have a certain length of hair or bald head or no tats. You know, a little bit of weight on them, whatever. It depends. Whatever the media wants to promote at that time, whatever they trying to promote. All right? But you don't get caught up in it. Fuck that bullshit, all right? Fuck that bullshit. You just worry about yourself. Worry about what you can produce, what you can do, all right? So anyway, that's all I got for today. Get in here, get something. I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.